Good afternoon, friends, and welcome to the Campaign Kickoff Luncheon for Conrad Lee's Re-Election Campaign. My name is Garrick Pang, and I will serve as your MC today. We are so glad that you've taken the time to join us. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, "The road to re-election begins on Zoom." No, it's not old. I just made it up. But we are so glad that you've joined us here virtually, and especially for your support of Conrad. The reason that you're tuned in today is because you care about the city of Bellevue and you would like to see Conrad Lee reelected. And so we are all here for that purpose. And so without further ado, we're going to move forward with our program. First of all, I would like to introduce you to three wonderful ladies that we have with us this morning. Or this afternoon now. We have Rosa Leong, who is going to share with us a beautiful song. She is a singer, a songwriter. She immigrated from Hong Kong. She's worked for Hyatt. She's worked for the Social Security Administration, has a very rich background, but mostly, and her biggest passion is to make people smile through music. We also have Rose Strong, who will be offering our invocation this morning. I keep saying morning, this afternoon. Rose, you may know of her name because of her son, Mack Strong, but Rose is quite a dynamic woman in and of herself. She actually served as a city council person in Columbus, Georgia, which is the home of Fort Benning. And Rose is just an amazing lady, and she will bring us our invocation this morning. And then you will be led in our Pledge of Allegiance by the Honorable Jennifer Robertson. Sorry, Jennifer, I've known you for many years and I apologize. But Jennifer will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Jennifer is a longtime Bellevue City Council person. She's an attorney, she's a mom, she's been deputy mayor, she has three beautiful daughters. And so I'm going to allow these ladies to come up now and share with us.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Good afternoon. It is a pleasure for me to be here this afternoon, and having been a person that's been involved in politics for over 50 years, I always like when I'm asked to do an invocation at an occasion such as this, I always like to start off by saying that we in America are very blessed to be able to have a country whose constitution guarantees freedom of religion. And it doesn't matter whether we're Christians or whether we're Hindu, Islam, whatever the religion it is that we practice, and we're people of faith, our Constitution guarantees the First Amendment the right to worship as we choose to do so. So I say that in the beginning because of the fact that I'm a Christian, and so you'll be hearing me say that I pray in the name of Jesus, but that's to let you know that we're not excluding anyone. We welcome all, and because we know that we're reaching such a diverse audience, I wanted to make that clear as we begin the program. One thing that I was very impressed with from the beginning concerning Conrad was that he always had a following that included all people. And Lord knows one of the things that we need these days is somebody that's going to represent not just one faction of American life, but you're going to represent people regardless of whether they're black, white, yellow, brown, or red, and regardless of where they stand or what their opinions are, but that you're going to, they're going to be representative of the people, and that you don't want to dog people out or try to condemn people because of whatever it is that they choose to do, because after all, this is America. So the first contact that I had with Conrad was through, I believe it was some kind of activity with the King County Republican Party. And that's where I found out that he was the regional administrator for the SBA, and I'd also served as a political appointee at the Department of Transportation. And so we had served as, he was still serving as an elected official, but also a political appointee. And Conrad, the first function that I had ever gone to in Olympia was a reception that Conrad helped to coordinate, or the SBA was sponsoring, where there was a reception for minority entrepreneurs and everything. And at this particular function, you had people that were there, from the Seattle area, from Tacoma. I met an awful lot of Black business people, as well as others, from other groups. And so all of them had an awful lot of good things to say about Conrad in his position as SBA administrator for the region, because they said he was always inclusive. He included them. He made sure that whatever information there was that they needed to have concerning business opportunities or whatever it is that they were doing, that he was always there to assist them in that. And so for a person who reaches out to all aspects of the community, I learned during the following years that Conrad was able to come to, whether it was a church activity or whether it was birthday parties or whether it was nonprofit organization meetings or fundraisers or whatever it was, you looked up, Conrad was there. And so it's a person that really cared about the community. So I just want to say, Conrad, I hope those words were good enough. I just want you to know that I support Conrad for his re-election, and I would strongly urge you to do so, because he's a person who really cares about all aspects of the community, and he works to bring people together, whether it's business, whether it's educational, or whether it's just ordinary everyday kinds of things involving people. Especially interested, I remember us talking about young people in the community, the problems that they're confronted with, whether it's the homeless or whether it's young people that are involved in drugs or alcohol problems or whatever the addiction might be. So across the spectrum, we couldn't find a better person than Conrad Lee. So thank you very much, and I hope, Conrad, that satisfied you.
Thank you, Rose. Listening to you talk about my friend and colleague, Conrad Lee, comes to mind. Conrad, to me, is someone who embodies inclusivity. As you said, he cares about all people, all of Bellevue. Commitment. He is completely committed to this city, to this job, to making life better for everyone, and passion. Conrad has a huge heart and a deep passion, an abiding passion for the city of Bellevue. I've served with Conrad for 12 years now. I was deputy mayor when he was mayor of Bellevue, and we worked very well together. And he worked wonderfully well in bringing the council together and helping Bellevue do great things. If you've been downtown lately, if you've been to the neighborhoods, you know Bellevue is continuing to do great things. We have an incredibly vibrant economy, even during COVID. We had more building permits in the pipeline last year than ever in Bellevue history, because people want to live and work and invest in Bellevue. We've built a really special city, and Conrad has been part of that for many, many years. And he has just done great work for the city of Bellevue. I was honored to be asked to lead the Pledge of Allegiance today, particularly because I know how much Conrad values our country and the Pledge of Allegiance. I was lucky enough to be born in the United States here in King County, but Conrad is a person who, as a young man of 18, he chose the United States as the land of opportunity to come here where there's freedom and the ability to create all good things. So please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Conrad, thank you for having me here today, and thank you everyone at home for participating. Please do what you can to help Conrad get reelected. All of the incumbents running this cycle need support, and Conrad is who we're here to support today. And do what you can, because it's going to be a long election season, and local elections matter. They are the government of first resort, and we need your help to make sure Bellevue stays on the path of becoming the greatest city in the world. Thank you.
Very well said, Councilmember Robertson. Appreciate your great words for Conrad. I want to just right now acknowledge, and across your screen, you will see our table captains. As has been mentioned, in the past, we'd all be sitting around a big room with tables and all of our friends present. All our friends are present, but just not with us in person. And so we're so thankful that you have tuned in. And I just want to say a special thank you to our table captains. I believe there were 27 of them, which is an incredible number, as well as those who have already donated. And throughout the afternoon, our time together, you will see a little link pop up, and you can just take your smartphone and you can capture that link, and it'll send you right to the page where you can also make a donation to Conrad's re-election campaign. I'd like to introduce now a video, and this video that's going to be shown are testimonials of people who have firsthand knowledge and experience having met Conrad and interacted and engaged with him. For all of us who know Conrad, the thing about Conrad is that we know that he cares. When you meet him, he's personable, he listens, and he's responsive. And this is exactly what we need in our city government. And so please enjoy watching this video of some people who have had great interactions with our friend, Conrad Lee.
Hello, my name is Morgan Maring, and I have known Mr. Conrad Lee for over 8 years. Throughout this time, I've gotten to know Mr. Lee on a personal level, and I am so appreciative and thankful for all the mentorship and advocacy that he has done for me and so many others in the Bellevue community. Mr. Lee has founded American Immigration Forums and several other student organizations aimed for inclusivity and community engagement. Through these opportunities, I've gotten to know him so well, and I think some attributes that really describe Mr. Lee is his mentorship and leadership abilities. He also has a huge emphasis on community engagement and service. He prioritizes advancements in STEM and engaging youth in these STEM fields to broaden our ability to tackle our world's biggest issues. He's also extremely collaborative and makes time for people. He's super dependable, and he's someone that I can always just call up and email and ask for advice and ask for mentorship. He's Bellevue's biggest advocate, which I think is so important when we think about who we want as our next city councilman. He's super optimistic about our future, and I think that these are attributes that are so important to consider and to acknowledge that Mr. Lee has really done for our city and what he's going to do for our city in the future. Thank you so much for listening.
I met him about 17 years ago at the North Bellevue Community Center, the senior center for the city of Bellevue. That was the first time I ever met him, and I was very impressed by him being there first, because he was the only city council member I had ever seen be there. He's really supportive of our community, both the older adult community and our neighborhood associations. So if there's a problem, I'm never afraid to go to Conrad. Conrad always listens. He's been very helpful to this community. He's served this community for a very long time. And it's very important that we re-elect Conrad. There's no one who knows our community better than Conrad Lee. He's served well as our deputy mayor and mayor, and he knows it all. He's the most experienced council member. We can't ask for a better choice. I support Conrad Lee. He acts on what he knows is right. And we need that voice in the city of Bellevue. Bellevue's growing, and it needs Conrad to keep growing.
We moved to Bellevue 17 years ago, and a lot has really changed since we've been here. But you might hear kids playing in the neighborhood here and people working. But one thing that hasn't changed is Conrad Lee has been on our city council and served as our mayor for the whole time we've lived in this city. After my husband retired from the Navy, we relocated to Bellevue because of the great schools, the safe environment here, and it's just such a beautiful setting. Conrad also really believes in safety. He fought having homeless shelters located near our schools, and he also was against injection sites. He continues to work to keep our taxes lower, and at the same time, he is really passionate about finding more affordable ways for people to live in Bellevue, to attract those young professionals, and also take care of those on fixed income. I was so excited as a music teacher to see him in a BYT production, that's Bellevue Youth Theater, and I just was very excited to see that he was interested in updating the theater and enriching the programs that are so vital to many students in this area, and they have a special outreach to those with disabilities. I'm Hallie Viniotis, and I'm voting for Conrad Lee in November, and I hope you do too.
As an Asian American, I'm personally troubled by the anti-Asian racial sentiment and hate crime against Asians. I want to be safe, feel safe, no matter what city I'm in, and visit my friends and businesses, whether it's Seattle, San Francisco, or Atlanta. I denounce hate crime, no matter where, when, and by whom. We all oppose crime, because they threaten our lives and properties. We choose to live in Bellevue because it's safe. Therefore, I'm glad to be here with all of you to take a stand in unity with all our friends and fellow Americans, no matter what sex, age, race, color, or creed, to work together to keep our city and our nation safe. Thank you for showing up. God bless and good night.
Well, it's encouraging to hear all those stories and experiences that people have had with Conrad. Hopefully you've had a chance to meet Conrad, but if not, you will hopefully be able to see him around our city once he is reelected as a member of our city council. Someone who has been around with Conrad, helping with his campaigns and being a leader in our community is Joan Wallace. Joan has been supporting Conrad for about 30 years now on his different campaigns. She's a retired president of Wallace Properties. She's been a longtime Bellevue businesswoman who is well respected in so many different areas. She's served as his campaign chair. She's been a community activist. Her son Kevin was a city council member as well. And so I am just so pleased to be able to introduce to you this afternoon, Joan Wallace.
Thank you, Garrick. Well, today it's my great pleasure to introduce my friend, Conrad Lee. I was privileged to co-chair Conrad's first win for the Bellevue City Council in 1993. For 28 years, Conrad Lee has been faithfully leading and serving the citizens of Bellevue. And now in 1993, Conrad's message was exactly the same as it is now, that Bellevue must be a safe place to live, work, and raise a family. And the reason why Bellevue has continued to be one of the safest cities in America is due to Conrad's consistency of leadership. This past year, due to COVID, the city of Bellevue lost $16 million in tax revenue. Now, for a city the size of Bellevue, that's a lot of money. But Conrad joined forces with other fiscally conservative members of the city council and figured out a way to balance the budget without raising taxes. And at a time when other cities defunded and demoralized their police forces, Bellevue continued to fund its police focusing instead on hiring officers who are professionally trained to meet the enormous challenges of our times. Now, the last time I introduced Conrad at one of his campaign kickoffs was perhaps 10 years ago. And when I stood up to speak, the first person who caught my eye was Senator Slade Gorton. Nobody knew he was coming, but there he was, and by his presence conferred his stamp of approval on Conrad Lee. Slade passed away last year, and now he passes the torch of his brand of moral integrity and leadership to men like Conrad. Conrad is a statesman who, like Slade Gorton, loves his community. With 28 years of institutional memory under his belt, Conrad understands Bellevue like no other. He consistently upholds support of police and fire and embraces fiscal conservancy. He does not capitulate to the political winds of change that we have seen in cities all across America, but is a consistent, dependable leader who stays true to the values that have kept Bellevue strong. It's vitally important that his leadership continues. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Conrad Lee.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here with you. I'm so blessed, surrounded by friends like you. I'm especially blessed with my wife, Winnie, who has put up with me for almost 55 years. Thank you, Winnie. More importantly, I want to remember and thank my mother, Yu Lee, who single-handedly raised my sister and me after losing my father in an airplane accident when I was only 8 years old. I was with my single mother, only a high school education, and never worked outside the home. She sacrificed and devoted her entire life of 95 years to make sure my sister and me have a good education and have a better life. We survived the Japanese occupation of China in World War II, escaped from Chinese communists to find refuge in British colony Hong Kong with meager means, but plenty of hope. She struggled and sacrificed her whole life to send us to the US to seek a better life. I came, I saw. No, I did not conquer. Instead, I found the land where I belonged, a place where everyone is free to call home. I've not forgotten from where I've come. As I continue to gladly and freely give back out of my gratitude for so much I've received from the country of my choice. With many of you on my side, particularly Joan and Rob, who have chaired many of my campaigns over the past 30 years. I'm blessed to have earned your trust to serve you all these years and making a positive difference to this country and community I love. I hope I've lived up to your trust. Just take a look at today's Bellevue. I hope my mother is looking down and smiling. 2020 was a difficult year for all of us. COVID-19 pandemic triggered an economic downturn like no other than the Great Depression. The virus has infected over 28 million Americans. More than 500,000 died. Our lives are disrupted. Many have lost their jobs and business. Our kids cannot go back to school. Bellevue is no exception. We had a revenue shortfall, as Joan mentioned, of $16 million. I'm proud to say, however, that because of our prudent financial policy and good management. We were able to continue delivering essential services to keep the city safe and preserve our neighborhood's excellent quality of life. We all want to get back to normal, our economy to recover. Nevertheless, we shall go on. Bellevue has proven that we are resilient. We will continue to be the shining city on the hill, example of a responsible and accountable government, government of the people, for the people, and by the people. You, the people of Bellevue. We have actually increased spending on police and fire with no increase in property tax rate, but from our rainy day reserve. I have great hope and faith that we shall surely recover. During this pandemic, we've had time to examine ourselves, our values, and why we love this country, our city, our neighbors, and how to get along and work together to be better. The future of Bellevue is bright. It is poised to becoming a world-class city with talented people, businesses large and small, and innovations from around the world coming here. Bellevue is becoming the center of technology in cloud computing, big data, AR, VR, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. Amazon, Facebook, and Microsoft are already here, bringing with them global businesses and global talents. This will continue with sound policies that create an environment and infrastructure where they can succeed and thrive. However, opportunities and growth also brings challenges, such as public safety, housing, transportation, environment, parks and public spaces, community services, and neighborhood quality of life. We want a balanced and managed growth to preserve the excellent quality of life we value. That is why I want to continue to serve, to tackle the challenges we face. My heart is in Bellevue. My heart is for you, my neighbors, the people of Bellevue. From the single parent like my mom to the business owners and teachers, we are all Bellevue, and I appreciate the privilege to serve you. I've earned your trust over these years by being authentic and honest, by listening to you, telling you the truth, even when it's not popular sometimes, caring about you, your family and neighborhoods. I've worked hard to keep our taxes low, our residents and properties safe, neighborhoods with excellent quality of life, valuing great schools and investing in transportation system that gives you the choice to travel easily and conveniently, and to let you live a life in the way you value and choose, and keep Bellevue a great place to live, work, and raise family for people of all races, colors, religion, ages, abilities, gender, and cultures. I began my life journey as a boy without father, without a country to call home. Blessed with my devoted mother. And now I'm blessed with loving wife and family, and all the friends like you all over the years, helping me to contribute and live the American dream. I'm still excited and energized to continue to help build this more perfect union at the local political level, where my common sense approach and influence can and have made a difference for all of us, for all of our citizens. With your continued support and help, I'm ready to serve you for another 4 years. My heart is full. My heart is with you. May God bless us. May God bless the United States of America.
Greetings to everyone who's joining us online. I'm Rob McKenna, and it's my privilege to bat cleanup today and to get to one of the reasons that we're having this event today, which is to provide support for Conrad Lee, to support his re-election. It's early in the season, but not too early to think about how we can help Conrad win re-election. It's going to take resources, not only our money, but also our time. And I'm really glad you could all join us today to help us accomplish that. I'm also absolutely delighted to be here in person, actually at an event with a group of people I love and admire very, very much, who you've heard speak today, starting with Conrad Lee and Winnie Lee, who have been dear friends for a good part of my adult life. I first met them when I was a young lawyer just starting to raise my family here in Bellevue back in the late 1980s. Conrad and I both ended up serving on the newly formed Bellevue City Transportation Commission, and I think Bellevue was the first city to have a commission devoted exclusively to transportation issues, and we've been friends ever since. I was delighted to support his first election campaign in '91 and his first winning campaign in '93, and one of the reasons I was happy to do that was a chance to work with Joan Wallace and Bob Wallace, who have been very, very good friends to many of us who have run for and held office in Bellevue and beyond. So Joan, thank you for stepping back again to help once again. I think one thing the Wallaces taught me is that our city government can only be as good as the people we elect to serve us in it. The second thing I've learned over the years about elected politics and about our government is that we're a nation that depends on people to volunteer themselves to run for office, and if that isn't hard enough, to actually serve in office after they win election. Our government can only be as good as the people who we support in their election to serve. And thankfully, Conrad Lee has been willing to serve, and Winnie Lee has been willing to support his service for these many years. Let me tell you why it's important to return Conrad to the Bellevue City Council. As Joan said, Conrad is a fiscal conservative. He has the right priorities for our city government, priorities that start with an efficient, effective government that keeps us all safe, that promotes economic prosperity, quality neighborhoods, and a vibrant business community. We've accomplished all of those things and more as a city, thanks to the leadership of leaders like Conrad Lee, Councilmember Jennifer Robertson, and a young man who used to serve on the Bellevue City Council, I seem to recall, named Wallace, as a matter of fact. We've had a terrific city council for many, many years, dating back to the city's founding in the 1950s. And because we've elected and re-elected good people to serve, we have benefited from the wisdom of their leadership. Not all cities are blessed with such consistent, steady, stable leadership as Bellevue is. And you can see the payoff from that investment every single day that you spend in this terrific city. So I'm going to ask you today to not wait to support Conrad, to not delay contributing to his election campaign. There's an old saying in politics that Rosa knows very well: early money makes the yeast rise, or early dough makes the yeast rise. Early money is the yeast that makes the dough rise. There, I knew I'd get it eventually. I'm apparently a little out of practice at coming to events, but we do need to contribute early, and then again in Conrad's campaign. It's expensive to run campaigns these days in a city the size of Bellevue. We can't take for granted that Conrad will just coast to re-election. We have to assume he's going to have spirited competition, and we need to make sure that Conrad has the resources to get re-elected. So I believe on your screen today, you've seen a donation button. It's there for you to click on. You take your credit card out, make that contribution, make a down payment on Conrad's re-election, or make as big a contribution as you can today and say, okay, I'm doing it all right now. Whatever works for you. But it is going to take resources to make sure that Conrad can get his message out, his vision for the future, to tell people about his record of accomplishment. We need to start that process today. So thanks again for joining us. Thanks to everyone for being here. Thanks especially to Conrad for inviting me to be part of this event again. And to my friend and the underclassman from Sammamish High School, Garrett Pang. Good to see you, buddy. All right. Thank you.
There are many things that I'm known for in this world. One of them is to be a underclassman to Rob McKenna. So we're totems, Sammamish totems from right here in Bellevue. I actually moved to Bellevue with my family in 1968 when I was 4 years old. And I have seen Bellevue through many, many changes. And one of the things that I'm thankful that hasn't changed since the early 90s is the fact that Conrad has served our community faithfully for all these many years. And as Joan was sharing, it really brought to mind the consistency that we have seen thanks to the leadership of Conrad. We have had great city council members throughout my whole time that we've lived here. And it's been exciting to see the city change and grow from being a bedroom community to really being a world-class city in its own right. Some of the words that I heard as people have shared and talked about Conrad today: experience, care, consistency, steady, stable, dependable, inspired. And I don't know about you, but as I heard Conrad sharing his continued vision for our city, I was excited. I'm like, we got to get this guy elected or re-elected because great things are in store for our future and great things are in store for the city of Bellevue. I want to personally just thank you, and on behalf of Conrad and all of his supporters here, we want to thank you for tuning in today. It looks like, boy, we're even under time. So we're not only on time, on budget, but just the way that Conrad likes to see things done. But I want to thank you for being here. Again, please remember to just take a screenshot or click on the link. You can also go to electconradlee.com so that you can make a donation and support our great city council member, Conrad Lee. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you have a great day. God bless you and God bless America.